All right, welcome back everybody to another Age of Empires cast. This time we have MBL in the red versus Hera in the blue, so two of the top players in the world. MBL going to be on the Goths, interesting and infantry-focused Civ versus Hera in the Slavs, which are also a interesting and infantry-focused Civ technically. Yeah, this was actually a cool one that I caught most of on MBL's stream, and I wanted to go over it and do a little cast of it myself. So without further ado, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this cast. Let's get underway. So Goths get the cheaper infantry scaling in each age, starting in Dark Age, actually, if I recall correctly. They also get bonus damage on their building, or on infantry versus buildings. That starts in the Feudal Age. It's 1 point of bonus damage per age, scaling to 3 in Imperial Age. They get the longer lasting hunt, and I believe the villagers also carry more from their hunt, so that's new. They also do more damage to boar too. That was what they always had, but that's like pretty new to me still. I say new, I actually don't know when it came out. It could be within the past 8 months, to be honest, but anyways, that's a pretty nice early game eco bonus. That being said, that will be highly offset by the Slavs, who recently had their farming bonus adjusted back to 15%. I think that's like extremely recent, because I swear that was 10% just like a month ago. But yeah, their farming, like faster farming efficiency is back to 15%, which is what it was when they came out, and they were very strong when they came out. They also get, I want to say it's cheaper siege. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I think they get supplies and gambesons for free when they hit Castle Age. Or the appropriate ages, regardless. Supplies is actually feudal. So they definitely can do some spicy infantry play. They also just have, I think, fully upgraded Cavalier to lean into in Imperial Age. So they can certainly go Cav. They have their unique unit, the Boyar, which is a heavy Cav unit with very good melee armor. Could be relevant against the Goths. Goths have as Karl for their unique unit. We didn't really touch on that too much, as the elephant being pulled in by both here. Don't think we'll see too much of Skarl, except for maybe for some raiding. If MBL gets a castle down, but it's not a great like pound for pound melee unit unless you're fighting against ranged units, because it has very high pierce armor. But that does make it a good unit for running under TCs, so maybe we'll get that far. MBL pulling a second elephant in. Seems a little bit early, but who am I to question a top 5 player? Actually, it's probably something to do with the fact that you're Goths. I guess you just want everybody on hunt in the beginning. Yeah, this villager's actually going for a house, not for berries. They're starting to wall off here. It looks like, presumably. Maybe we'll put our barracks in this area. Zebra being pushed in as well. So yeah, we want to go with just as much hunt as possible right now. Hera pulling in his second elephant. His first elephant is nearly done. Uses a TC there to basically two-shot it, pushing in a zebra as well. 3 on wood for both. Mill does go up for Hera. That has not happened yet for MBL. But his hunt lasts longer. So, you know, I think it's like 20% longer. It really is a huge difference. Oh, and Goth barracks work faster. I think it's 20% faster by base. You can make it another 100% faster when you get Imperial Age with attack. But still, you work 20% faster, so you can churn out cheap infantry. They don't really have any like fancy upgrades in terms of damage or anything besides first building. Still, they lack arson as a result. But yeah, we could see, and there's a barracks, so maybe we'll see some militia coming out here. Though nobody's on gold, so we could only get a handful of them before we would have to think, like, if we want to get men-at-arms, we'd have to get some people on gold there. Another ostrich being pushed in, both on 17 pop. Or, I'm sorry, 18 vills now. 19 pop. And we'll see if either of them are thinking about clicking up here. 11 on hunt right now. Yeah, versus, looks like, yeah, 12 on... I think this is all hunt as well. Yeah. Yeah, so both of them have saved their sheep and are barely on berries. Though Hera has 3 on berries, so a little bit more food coming in. But the click up comes in from MBL, because Loom is instant. Forgot about that. Loom researches instantly for Goths. So that's a nice little thing. You save a couple seconds there. But at the end of the day, we're going to be about 20 seconds different here, both on the same amount of vills. LTC time is 4 seconds for MBL, which is basically nothing. 0 seconds, though, literally nothing for Hera. Scouting info should be basically circles around the base for each of them, because I believe that, yeah, they both pushed deer. And that's what it is. So neither have checked each other out yet. But the deer are just such a priority, especially for the goths here, but just for both civs. Definitely curious to see. The res collected, of course, is like super similar. They're both basically doing the same thing here. 3 deer, 2 boar, some on wood. MBL saturating the wood a little bit heavier. Has built 3 militia here. Plus loom. Because his militia are cheaper. So he didn't... So normally if you want 3 militia and loom, you have to go gather 10 stone. Because loom is 50. So you go down to 50, and then militia are 20 gold each. Here comes a little micro fight here. Both of them so good at this. Yeah, just absolutely... And look at this scout blocking here. Though a lion unfortunately gets involved for MBL, but really nice micro from both players. But MBL, since he had 4 units, got the higher trade value there, for sure. Feudal Age coming in. Eco upgrades coming in for MBL right off the bat, getting double bit and horse collar before the farms come out. Hera has walled in his wood line here. A smart response to the 3 militia are on the way, but here is a spearman coming out to get involved. And Hera's going to dance his scout around this spear. He wants MBL to be tempted to try to last hit. MBL goes for the hit, but then like pulls back. So he got jebaited there. He canceled his own attack and then got his spear hit in. Does snipe that scout though. Both of them adding vills behind. 7 seconds versus 4 seconds. So really equal idle time, which is basically none. Buildings. So far, just a barracks. No, a stable's been added for MBL. And a barracks for Hera that has 4 militia in it. Well, 3 and a 4th one on the way as we dance around with our scout here. And oh my goodness, a quick gate. Wow. Deletes the palisade, drops the gate so the scout bumps into it and the spear gets the hit there. Absolutely nasty. Nasty play there. Men-at-Arms tech is coming in from Hera. Hera is going to go with 4 Men-at-Arms. Is he going to send a spear forward? No, he's keeping the spear at home in case something were to happen. Spear doesn't do too much damage, so... Keep it at home. Blacksmith coming out to get the infantry upgrades, presumably. Definitely like that. Men-at-Arms don't have any base melee armor, so villagers can actually attack them decently well. They do 3 full damage attack. So 15 hits and they're dead. And when you know, if you have 5-6 villagers around, 15 hits isn't actually that much to ask, right? The militia do make it into the berry patch here. And it's a little lapse in judgment from Hera, but while that's happening, MBL's berries are being hit. And he's trying to, and he was trying to micro his militia to body block, and instead his villagers are getting body blocked by the much better men-at-arms, which now have +1 armor as well. And this vill should be dead here. Yeah, and indeed he is. And we've been joined here by Oliver. You might see the top of his ears or his head on the camera. Oliver's my cat. One of them anyway. And he just jumped on my lap because when I start talking, for whatever reason, it's like Pavlov's dogs with food and salivating. For him, it's hearing me talk. He has to be on my lap. So the militia are in here. They're getting walled in, actually. So they're kind of stuck attacking this mill, which is... It's something, right? But the men-at-arms are attacking this mill, and they're going to take that down a lot faster if they stay for it. But vill counts are actually in favor of MBL because of the idle time, even though MBL lost a vill. I mean, it's basically even at the end of the day, but he is like slightly ahead because his idle time is a little bit better. Though it's ticking up now a little bit. He's under duress here. So at this point, they're basically even. Going out to gold. Building an archery range, so he's going to go for an archer switch here to try to deal with this, because he went for a lot of scouts. That didn't get much done. Quick walls coming in. Gonna be good. Gonna secure the wood line, though a new hole has just opened up here. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, gets the quick wall down and might get a cleanup here. Men-at-arms do pretty well against scouts, but there are more scouts plus the skirms helping out. So the cleanup should be coming, but 5 men-at-arms on the way from Hera. Still 1 barracks. These militia are just about cleaned up now. Basically just being a nuisance at this point with the last one. Scouts going forward with skirms. MBL still just on skirms. Skirms aren't technically a counter to the men-at-arms. They only do 1 damage a hit. But they are ranged, so they do okay. Just because of that, you get enough skirms, it's going to help supplement your scouts. Scouts are choosing to go forward and try to find damage here. Let's see if this works. Villagers are on the way from Hera. Defensive tower being added from MBL. He knows about all this. Let's see what this does for him. This should help lock down this area and protect his gold, which is definitely important. Archers are now the play here. He decides, queuing that up. Here comes the tower, which will deny the berries. There's actually a decent amount of berries left. 400 food. That's going to get absolutely denied. And res collected, by the way, I want to note this. We have the same amount of vills. And the idle time is definitely worse for MBL, but still. Hera's about 200, 300 res ahead. And look how many farms he's got. He's got 19 farms. Absolutely churning out food with that slab bonus. This stable's not long for this world at all, and there's actually just a hole here, to be honest. Hera doesn't even need to take out this stable, but, you know. With men-at-arms and villagers available to attack it, you might as well create some space for yourself and deny the scout production. That could cause you some problems, potentially. So now he knows that he's just on... He being MBL. Hera knows that MBL's just on an archer range and a barracks. At least he thinks that, right? Which is correct. Another tower going up. The tower creep is starting. MBL's having a hard time killing off the men-at-arms fast enough. And there's more streaming in. There's now 13 men-at-arms on the map. A second barracks has been added at home. And see, with the free supplies tech, the men-at-arms are cheaper. Food-wise, right? And gold isn't that hard to sustain men-at-arms production because they're only 20 gold a pop. So it's usually the food that makes it kind of awkward in Feudal Age. But with the Slav, farm bonus, and supplies... kind of going crazy. And this mill will finally actually die. Minus 100 wood. Rip the dream. The last of the scouts are coming back. MBL is realizing this is kind of rough. Dropping a 3rd archery range. Going to try to just ball up a ton of archers to push this back. We'll see if he's able to do so. 3rd tower trying to be placed here. Scouts... oh, no. All of MBL's vills moving here. He double-clicked his vills, and his scouts just kind of die for nothing. And a bunch of archers even die here, and the 3rd tower is going to go up. Yeah, he accidentally double-clicked his vills. You could see all the vills move at once. And I'm trying to move Oliver here. You're wondering why I'm moving around in such an odd fashion. A 4th tower being dropped from Hera. Hera is just relentless with this pressure and more men-at-arms flowing in. There's now 13 men-at-arms, 4 more in the queue. This archery range needed to be repaired for multiple reasons. He needs the archers and he also needs to protect this wood line. This is the only wood line that's active. This one's completely shut down and this one's pretty far away and not that safe, right? And the archers do a great job against the men-at-arms, but not when there's towers protecting the men-at-arms. No fletching for Hera yet. It is pretty tight. Probably not able to afford it from the gold perspective, and that's why he hasn't gone for it. Doesn't need it. Wouldn't hurt, of course, but doesn't need it. If he wants to keep building 2 men-at-arms with 5 on gold, I'm pretty sure he can't tech that without idling for a bit. This tower is now getting battered down by the men-at-arms because it's not walled in. None of the towers are actually walled in. The Hera's towers are kind of covering for each other, and he has military here. I don't know, maybe walling in towers has fallen out of vogue. Maybe it was just a little too much on the resources here. Ooh, MBL trying to put up a desperate tower with a whole bunch of vills here because Hera's putting up a 5th tower. But this one looks like it might actually get denied. The villagers getting pushed back by the archers. There's a huge fiesta here. I don't even know what's going on. I guess MBL's coming out to try to batter down the tower. Yeah, he's deleting his house to make space. He's going to try to batter down 2 at once? No, okay. Yeah, he's got 9 or like 8 archers at this point. trying to help out here in this big melee. This tower should go down, but I mean, at what cost? 9 villagers have died so far for MBL. He's now 8 vills behind. So Hera with a little bit more idle TC time, but still, it really just doesn't matter that much. And still, Men-at-Arms in the queue for Hera. The towers are getting cleared up, but now it's 13 eco kills, so all vills in this case, to 2. MBL's killed 2 vills and lost 14, and he's now 11 villagers behind. And of course, his idle time is so much worse too, his idle eco time, right? Because having your vill, 9 of your vills out here fighting for their life is not super great at getting res. And Hera can click up to castle. Does he need a second building? I think he does. Yeah. Probably forgot, like, oh right, I'm on double barracks. I actually didn't build a feudal military building, which is super unusual. MBL deletes all these buildings up here so his villagers can just get to the fight faster. Hera tries to quick wall it in with houses and it almost works, but this tower should get cleaned up. But man, at what cost? MBL only has 38 vills. Oliver's playing with my hoodie again. Action all over the place. Action in the rec game. Action in real life. Yeah. And Hera gonna drop 2 forward barracks as he goes up to castle. He's got 17 more vills now. This game should be over. MBL's nowhere close. But he's gonna try. He's finally gotten some breathing room for himself, right? So he's gonna come out here. He's gonna use vills as his forward military, or I guess his melee military is what I mean. Let's see if he can deny these barracks. Might be able to deny the second one with some nice micro, but no, it doesn't look like it. Oh boy, and his archers might get walled in for their trouble. Kills a vill, but 24 vills lost to 4. So Hera's not going to be too upset about that. MBL does finish his tower, but he doesn't wall it in. Against Men-at-Arms. I mean, to be fair, I'm not really sure it would matter, but like, still wouldn't mind seeing it. Hera was trying to do something with a stone wall there, a stone gate there. I think he was trying to split the archers from the Men-at-Arms. But MBL for the first time in about, what, 14 minutes is actually pushing out to Hera, but there's all these Men-at-Arms being produced in these 2 barracks. I'm not sure, but he needs to do damage and he knows that. I think he's pretty sure that Hera's up to castle at this point because Hera's pulling back the pressure. And yeah, boom, there's castle and free Gambesons in. So now we have more pierce armor on these. They're only going to take 2 damage a shot now. That's why Hera turns here. He was waiting for Gambesons because Slavs get it for free, which is absolutely nasty. This skirmisher wandered into the wrong part of town here, just got absolutely blasted. He thought he was going to meet up with his buddies, but that's not what happened. Squire's coming in, so then the infantry can catch the archers easier and the second armor. So they will have 4 armor. So they're going to take 1 damage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they'll have 4 pierce armor. Yeah, need crossbow. But we're so far away from crossbow, we're just going to be working with archers. Oh, and the archer's getting quick walled here. Do get a vill. Do get a vill. MBL's finding some damage, but at home, his tower's been cleaned up. His backup tower is getting cleaned up. And longsword is in. And chainmail's in. And this is a disastrous situation. 4k more res collected for Hera. And yes, I know Hera does have more vills for sure now and has had for a little while, but 4k res? It's not like he has that many farmers. And I would think that most of it's from farming, to be honest. I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, he only has double bit. Longsword's trying to break in here, and they're just shrugging off the arrow fire. Look at this. Oh no! This guy found his way in. The house goes down. MBL calls the GG. This group was going to die. Quadruple barracks infantry play from Slavs. Not a single other military building was made. Just barracks. There was no archer range for skirms to try to deal with the archers. There was no scouts or something like that. Or let's get a couple knights in Castle Age to deal with the archers. No, we'll just use infantry to deal with archers. If you heard that archers counter infantry, you're wrong, apparently. No, there's obviously context to all that, but yeah, having free supplies and free Gambesons with a strong food economy behind it turns out it's pretty nasty, and it's pretty hard to deal with feudal age archers that have no remarkable traits because it's goth archers, right? If those could have been crossbow, it would have turned out maybe different, right? Crossbow should still deal with those 4 pierce armor longswords pretty well, but in this case, it's pretty rough for MBL. Yeah, just a really cool, I thought it was a really cool game anyway. I thought it was interesting. We had 2 infantry civs match up, but the Goths didn't actually play any infantry. Not that I'm saying that was the incorrect choice, by the way. I just thought it was interesting what happened here. Like, such an all-in with the longswords and everything, but it was from the Slavs, not the Goths. But I can see why now after that. I'm kind of a believer. That was pretty sick. That was well done. But GG's to both players. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This was not a cast of my own game this time. This was just a cool game I had seen and wanted to do a little cast of, but hopefully I will see you all again very soon. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch. And if you enjoyed this and want to see more, I'd appreciate if you hit the subscribe and hit a like and leave a comment, all that good stuff, all the good YouTube algorithm stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.